So I've spoken to many social care workers within the Pakistani, like in Pakistan, right?
Sure.
And they have a common cultural practice of killing, and you see this within newly emerging and low-income economies, where they can't afford to take care of all their children. So the children that have the most deformities, which need the most care, they'll kill or abandon, right? So if you have this practice culturally, in combination with religious practices, which disproportionately cause deformities which would offset potentially killing your child, you've enabled a slaughterhouse.
It's natural selection.
So you would justify that action to me? You think that's a good thing? You think banging your cousin and the product of that being a deformed child who could potentially face unnecessary suffering?
I wouldn't advocate it. But if my
so why is your God, well, not your God because I don't know your beliefs, but why is the God of the Quran advocating for this?
Perhaps this was commanded during a specific time period. I mean,
what would justify a span of cousin marriages? No, it's not, by the way, because we can already see within societies people are still doing it. So regardless if there is a context which negates this proposition, people are still practicing it, which God the all-knowing should know that. So why is the vast majority of his followers still banging their cousin?
I think this practice is also done in Dubai, in Saudi, right?
Saudi Arabia and
Arab Emirates.
And disproportionately, the Muslims are the ones that are banging their cousin. What a surprise! Like if you look at Yemen, with a mixture of Christian and Muslims, most cousin marriage comes from the Muslim community. In Nigeria, for example, as well, the regions with the highest portion of incest are the Muslim communities.
But does it always produce genetic mutations?
Statistically, it will cause it, yes. 50% increase according to the National Institute of Health in cardiac, so like heart and blood deformities. You have a 4% increased chance of taking mood medication and having poor mental health. You have a 4x chance of gaining genetic disorders and mutations.
I think regardless, people are
which is a strain on the NHS, by the way. Like,
yeah, but irregardless, there's still many English people that have not married their cousins, but there's still. This society is still full of disease.
Do you know the NHS have to release a statement saying, can the Asian community please stop banging their cousins because it puts a strain on the NHS?
The NHS say a lot of bullshit. So
who am I supposed to go for? The NHS are literally dealing with these people unnecessarily, and they're saying, please stop doing this.
They're also dealing with a lot of obese people.
Yeah, and the NHS would also say, have a healthy diet. You're using examples. You're using examples of real issues which have real solutions. There is a real problem with the Asian, which includes the Pakistani community, banging their cousins, having children which become a burden on the social services, and then also causing unnecessary suffering, which an all-God wouldn't have done.
Perhaps they want to increase their community, the numbers of their community. Perhaps
you can do that with other fertile women. We don't live in a dystopian society that has no woman.
This is the Pakistani community that you have to change, not my community. But
well, yeah, we do that by showing these people that the religion and culture that informs their beliefs.
But why is it
faulty.
specifically Pakistani? Why? What about all the other Muslim?
Yeah, the Saudis, the Pakistanis, the Yemenis, the Nigerian Muslims, all of these people that commit cousin marriage in the UK, in Bradford, in Luton, all of these demographically replaced areas. Smashing your cousin is wrong. We should abolish it. It should be made illegal. You should face time in prison if you do it because you're causing the suffering of an innocent child.
What if the child comes out healthy?
Well, then I said you've
because
played the lottery.
These things. We can test for these things.
Okay, so we test within a fetus that there's a genetic deformity that has come because they've married their cousin. Okay, what's the solution here? Abortion? That's even wrong. That's worse because you're not taking any responsibility for your consequences. So what about if you have some sort
of genetic mutation in yourself and you pass that on to a child? Regardless if you marry,
I would continue. Well,
why would you be allowed to procreate?
Because I can't do anything about it.
You have a genetic mutation. Yeah, exactly.
No. I can't do anything about it. But someone who has decided to partner with their cousin can, because they can love someone else. They can sleep with someone else. Regardless of who I sleep with, I will still procreate a child with a genetic disorder. Regardless
of
what.
Problematic for the NHS, like you've described.
But it's an immutable characteristic. It's not an immutable fact that you will go bang your cousin.
But that's their freedom. That's their choice.
No, I
and
don't.
you got your
I am
choice.
not a classical libertarian. I do not believe that just because someone has the freedom to do something, that therefore means they should. I think that as a society, we all occupy the same space, we breathe the same air, we take the same resources, we have the same amenities, and in order to preserve that fact, we have to tell people, don't do stupid things, which includes doing things that cause an unnecessary burden on the NHS.
I just think if you're going to stop a group of people from procreating, whether you agree with it or not.
No, I'm not
if
saying.
you
I'm not
also-
saying stop procreating. I'm not telling the Bangladeshi
But
community
you don't
in
get
Luton.
to decide the boundaries of who you do and don't.
Yes, we don't marry. We don't have sex with children,
Okay.
do we?
Well, that's a whole nother ethical discussion.
I hope it's not another
we're talking
discussion.
about
I hope
cousin
you
marriage.
agree
We're
with it.
talking about- I never said I do. We're talking about cousin
Do you agree with
marriage.
child marriage?
We're talking about cousin marriage.
No, but
so-
like just as quickly as a
I
question.
don't have to answer nothing. We're talking about cousin
come on,
marriage,
man.
And we're talking about Islam.
Do you want to tell that to the police?
He showed me the.
That assumes he does.
Yeah, because I'm telling you this
I
now.
don't think so.
I'm telling you this now. If someone accused me of endorsing pedophilia, and that's
because
another discussion,
the-
I'd say,
the
well, why does it
discussion is just
immediately
gonna
not
get,
condemn it?
Muddled up into.
Oh, okay,
various-
that's fine. But can you just quickly give me yes or no, and I will not continue that discussion?
We're talking about cousin marriage, and okay.
Just
No, I don't think it's okay.
Fantastic, you're a good man.
No, you don't get to
Morally
decide.
superior to the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him. Now, back to the discussion. Right, I'll formalise this debate because I appreciate we're taking a lot of each other's time.
Carry on.
We, as biological creatures, look for order in nature because God has ordered nature, which means that we can observe things within nature to derive certain moral truths. In Islam, this is known as the fitra. Within Christianity, it's known as the nous. Now, looking at nature, if we see a certain practice which causes a certain increased chance of something that is bad, we can then derive from that is a bad action, because it comes forth that action badness. In the case of cousin marriage, it will cause bad things, therefore it's a bad practice.
It is.
I think it's then I can go I can go even further and go down the line of eugenics and say anyone who has bad genes should not procreate, and in fact we should maybe even exterminate them.
Do you know what the difference
because
between
if we're-
eugenics?
Oh, like.
Do you know what the difference between eugenics is and what I'm teaching?
But I'm sure not every cousin marriage results in an unhealthy child. I've met people that are the children of cousin parents.
Yeah, but when they have a health conflict,
So I can't now condemn them for who they are because
I'm not.
because you're against Islam.
I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not saying these people. Okay, I'm not saying a born child.
Oh, right.
I'm not saying a child who's born of incest is somehow not equal to a
I
child.
don't think cousin marriage is incest. If incest isn't it?
Incest is definitionally that. If you've banged your first cousin, that is incest.
Is it? I thought it was brother and sister.
No. Consanguinity is within the bloodline of your family. So back to the point. Back to the point, ladies and gentlemen. Eugenics teaches that there is a hierarchy of human value based on an immutable fact of a person. So if you look within 1940s Germany, it taught that the Jews were not equal to the Europeans due to some immutable fact about their bloodline and heritage. Now, I'm not saying the product of an incest child, the product of an incest marriage being an incest child, is somehow subhuman. I'm saying we should prevent the procreation of someone within their bloodline because it causes unnecessary suffering.
But what if you cause unnecessary suffering with your genetic?
I can't change my
Mutation.
genomes.
Exactly. So
But
we should control it. The
you
government should control it.
Wait. Do we agree that
Same way you want to stop cousin marriages, we should prevent you.
Do you agree that you can decide to smash your cousin?
Do I agree? I
Yes.
mean,
Do you have that choice?
it's not a norm in where I'm from.
No. Do you have a choice?
Pardon? I think it's a choice.
You are not.
It's a choice.
Okay, great. So you can choose to go with any partner you want, and the partner that you decide to have might not cause suffering. Now, for the case of myself, I may carry some bad dominant gene that if I procreate and pass it on, it may cause some unnecessary forms of suffering. But in that case, it wouldn't be unnecessary, because it will always essentially happen. I can't I can't opt out from passing that genome to my child.
You cannot opt out by staying celibate.
Yeah, I can be
Deciding
celibate.
not to cause more harm.
Yeah, I can be celibate. However, if I have the vocation of having a child,
And I think Christianity would also advocate for this.
yeah,
Because Jesus
it
never
could
had children.
potentially be a sign vocationally of being celibate. However, if I have the vocation by God to have children, and if we live in a deficient realm caused by ancestral sin, of course then we can make the case that God has caused us to have children. It may cause a form of essential suffering. However, regardless of that form of suffering, I have no say in if that suffering is caused. I just live in a sinful
I
world.
think you do have a say. It just depends how much you can control or not control your urges, which is dependent on your
No, because
testosterone.
if I'm
Your
called
willpower.
to have children, and I have a child, and because we live in a
No
sinful
one
world,
is cool to have children. It
you don't
just
think God
depends
calls
whether-
you? You don't think God calls you to have children?
It depends on your mind.
Look, biblically and canonically.
Chemically, it's just.
But that's just the natural means to how God calls people to do something. Like, I don't believe when I say vocationally, God has this uncreated light and it has like some hymns and tells you to do something. God works within nature. God will give you signs within nature because He's founded it. Thank you very much, Fred. But anyway, you still haven't told me, are you a Muslim?
I told you. I already gave you an answer to that.
You don't know. Are you sure?